So this is my pitch for the Mega Man 30th project. Mega Man is one of gaming's most famous game characters there is, being considered one of the forefathers of the classical video game era, along with Pac-Man, Sonic, and Mario. Featuring in over 116 main series games and pushing the limits of gaming, Mega Man was created by Japanese designer Akira Kitamura in hopes of creating a hit franchise for Nintendo's new home console at the time, the Nintendo Entertainment System. Although a lot of what made Mega Man so memorable was from a man named Keiji Inafune, who was responsible for the character's design and animated sprites. The Mega Man games strayed away from conventional tropes at the time by including characters that were distinguished and important, taking inspiration from his love of anime, in particular Astro Boy. In Mega Man's huge 30 years of success, the character has gone far beyond that of his video game roots, from action figures, comics and cartoons to apparel, accessories and collectibles. Despite the character somewhat fading with new generation of gamers, he remains alive and well, guest starring in other video games, such as Super Smash Bros., two new releases in the form of the Legacy Collection 1 and 2, and another new cartoon arriving in 2018. Despite the lack of new audiences, Mega Man lives on in the hearts of many fans of the classic series, with fan projects such as Mega Maker, which allows fans to create their own Mega Man levels, plenty of forums with active users sharing a love for the series. On top of this, in a poll put out by Capcom to decide on DLC characters for the fighting game Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Mega Man X was voted highest, winning over 34% of the votes out of the 30 plus character choices given. This just shows there's still a very active and thriving fanbase. 2017 marks the 30th anniversary of the Mega Man series. As a challenge to fans, Capcom have issued a brief asking people to create a piece of communication that celebrates, or is inspired by, the series, and that could be shared or showcased throughout the years to come. As a reflection of the franchise, Capcom had decided to keep the brief quite open, in which I mean they allow any form of media type, which include, but aren't limited to, games, video, print, paint, audio, and animation. My original plan was to create an anniversary type game featuring different bosses from all 10 classic Mega Man games, with new hand-drawn graphics on top of the 8-bit graphics, but after discussion it was made clear to me this wouldn't be possible, with the time given. After the discussions, it left me with two choices I wanted to pursue. The first was a documentary on the Mega Man series, since I really enjoyed making and editing my Satoru Iwata documentary in Term 1. The second was an animation celebrating the series' 30 years. I quickly came to the decision to focus my project on creating an animation spanning the franchise. The animation is going to begin way back in December of 1987, the month the first Mega Man game was released, taking inspiration from the Superman 75th anniversary animation. It's going to play out in a smooth transitional way. The animation will follow the life of a little nameless kid who first played Mega Man as a child, like most classic fans and video game fans in general. As the kid plays the game, it will go into detailed fights between Mega Man and the Robot Masters, transitioning between each game, with cuts back to the kid every now and then, showing him grow up as the games move on. The plan is to have the fight end on a shot of Mega Man and Dr. Wily about to punch each other, before the image zooms out, revealing it as a poster for the 30th anniversary, and the kid who we followed throughout the animation, all grown up with his own little child, staring up at the poster in awe. I want the animation to give viewers a sense of nostalgia. I want them to see themselves in the kids' shoes and relate, while also showing how the series has spanned a literal generation. I feel an animation representing the series is a great way to celebrate the 30th, as with a lot of stuff within these types of mediums get the animation treatment. Like the previously mentioned Superman 75th, Batman 75th also got one, as well as a tribute to Iwata's death. It's a good way to quickly represent in a vast history for people to enjoy, all of which had great success in terms of views. On top of this, it's not only a great tribute for classical fans, but I plan on releasing the animation onto YouTube, which means in the theoretical chance that it's trending, could introduce Mega Man to a new generation. So how do I plan to do this? I want to begin with rough storyboards to get an idea of how the animation will play out, then rough sketches of movement to get the animation movement down before adding details. I'll use Krita for the animation because it's the software I'm most used to. I'll work on my Wacom 13 HD at home, and the screenless Wacom tablets at college. After researching the 75th Superman and Batman animations, I checked how long each was, with both running about 3 minutes each. Since I only have 30 years to cover, I want to reach 1 minute 30 of total footage at least, aiming for 15 to 30 seconds of complete animation running at 24 FPS, with the rest being played out as animatics if I run out of time. So this is how I plan to use my time from now till the end. So the 10th and the 13th, the upcoming week, I will use that time for storyboarding. On the weekend, the 14th and the 15th, I will use to do animations. And the 16th to the 18th, I will clean up those animations and edit it together on using Premiere Pro. and then the 19th, on the Thursday, the day before the hand-in, I'll use to do leftover work and upload it all to the website. So how does this meet audience needs? One of the most important aspects of this project was including what the audience would want to see. This required research. My target audience is the classic fans, so those between 18 and 44. I made sure to only take the information gathered by that target age group. The first step was a simple survey to get things moving. As a group, me and a couple other classmates decided to group questions together in a survey and post it to a Mega Man Reddit page. These were the questions that were asked, and these were the results. So, have you heard of Mega Man? 100% said yes, 0% said no. Would you consider yourself a fan? 97% said yes, 0% said no, 3% said meh. Are you a fan of animation? 84% said yes, 3% said no, 13% said meh. Would you like to see a 30th anniversary Mega Man? Would you like to see a 30th anniversary Mega Man animation? 95% said yes, 0% said no, and 5% said meh. The final and most important question I asked was which art style to aim for. I gave the fans 5 options: the brand new Disney XD style, the classic cartoon style, classic Inafune art, or 8-bit and 16-bit. Out of the results, the new one got 0 votes, the classic cartoon got 1% of the votes, Inafune got 53%, 8-bit got 10%, and 16-bit got 36%. And this research was further backed up by just the sheer outcry of the new cartoon's actual animation style. People were not fans. After this, I decided to post out 7 different styles in terms of Mega Man to see which way I could colour. The first one got 4 votes, the second one got 0 votes, the third one got 5 votes, the black and white got 0 votes, the 5th got 1 vote, 6th got 0 votes, and the 7th got 14 votes. I also did the same for a Mega Man 30th logo, since Capcom hadn't actually created one yet, and out of all of them, this one got 46% of the votes, so it's going to be the one I use. This is just some prototype artwork for the character I had of the time of pitching this. I feel ultimately the animation will meet audience wants because they've made it clear they would like to see a 30th animation. Alongside this, the outcries of the new cartoon will be met with an art style that pays homage to the classic designs. Since it's going to be similar to the Superman and Batman 75th animations, it means I'm going to aim to cover as much of Mega Man's history as possibly can, and make the viewer connect with the animation, remind them of the great memories they have with not only the Mega Man series, but video games as a whole. Spending a while online in comment sections and forums, it's clear to see that all the fans of the series want is the series back. They want these new cartoons and merchandise, but they want it to be what they already know. They don't want new redesigns and changed stories, they just want to see it done right. Looking at the very popular and long-running comic book series by Archie proves this. It tells new stories, but uses an art style that's familiar and sticks close to the lore already in place. That's why I want to stick as close to the source material as I possibly can, because it's what the fans have made clear that they want. So, how does this complement my skills? Before joining this course over a year ago, I had no prior knowledge towards games development. I was worried I wouldn't have what it takes to make it. I felt it was a future out of my reach. During the first term, making my first ever video game, I discovered something about myself that I didn't know was there. I picked up animation pretty quickly, and really enjoyed it. Ever since I've been improving, moving away from pixel art to hand-drawn, and away from just video game animation, working on personal short animations during the summer break. This project will allow me to not only portray my improvements, but allow me to show off my skills toward planning and creating a longer animation too. Every time I animate, I learn more techniques and tricks, how to make movements look smoother, how to do more dynamic shots. It can be stressful, but it's where my footing is. at the moment. Making a full-fledged animation is miles away compared to creating animations for a video game. With video game animation, you cut out anticipation and replacement for the gameplay. With a full animation, it all rides on the animation. There's so much more to think about. It's less two-dimensional. This project will be a great way to not only improve on my skills I excel at, but also challenge myself and throw myself into new territory. And that does it for my pitch. Thank you for listening.